Welcome to your Daily Dose. My name's Robert, my pal Susan. Wearing some cool stripes right there. That has an 80s vibe to it.
Doesn't it? It probably is from the 80s, kind of a rugby kind of shirt kind of thing.
uh-huh. Yeah, no, I dig it.
It's,
I
it's
dig it. I definitely a polo, sure.
oh yeah, you're right.
I
Yeah.
had I had several shirts just like that.
And,
That's
and
cool.
and you let them go at some point.
Oh yeah, I mean I have I've redone my wardrobe so many times. Yeah, it's there was a great commercial in the 80s that I love that kind of speaks toward that where a guy, and this was, a fairly a good-looking couple. Let's get my hat straight. He was going and looking through his closet for his clothes. He's just coming out of the shower wearing a towel, and empty closet. And he goes back to the bedroom, and there's his wife wearing a dress shirt, and she goes, "Why don't you try this one on first?" And she bought him a new wardrobe, and yeah,
Oh,
it was one of those clothes. So it was
that was
provocative and
sweet.
sexy, and at the same time speaking toward that idea of revamping or rebuilding your wardrobe. How often do you rebuild your wardrobe, or do you?
Well, that's the reason I have this. I don't ever let anything go.
You don't.
No. And then, as you know, my mother, who that's where I probably, got that. Um, just downsized, and so all of her amazing stuff came to my home as well. So I would say it was more modeling, you know. But isn't it interesting that as we grow and change and learn stuff and become kind of different people, this feels very not right for me right now. It feels very preppy, and I don't really think of myself as very preppy. But it felt right to wear today with the weather and everything. But, I don't, I suppose when Chip was into a really preppy phase of life, I probably dressed differently. You know,
Yeah. The word close.
guys do that too. I guess guys do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. The word close to preppy, another P word. I know sometimes we like our alliterations, both of us being word geeky people. Um, is perspective, and I've been thinking a lot about perspective today.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the run a lot, and the perspective thing there was how long a 10K used to sound to me, and then how long a half marathon used to sound
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
And perspective wise, now that I've done a marathon, those things just don't feel as long to me. Now, if I stopped training, they would once again become long. But
Yeah. Yeah.
mentally, it's the same, I think, with our wardrobe too, about the perspective of what feels right, what might be amazing looking and make us feel awesome. We can look back at a picture and be like, what was I thinking? But in the moment, the
Yeah.
perspective was, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used to love around that same time, like early 90s. I think that's when I became a little more fashion conscious. I kind of found, more of that part of myself, and started to enjoy the attention I got for dressing by some ladies, of course. And there was a show called Beverly Hills 90210. And Jason Priestley was my hero. I was like, I copied the look, and whatever. And one of the things, it wasn't exactly him, but it was around there. People started wearing these suspenders, but they were like they were jean suspenders, but you'd only wear one side,
Oh,
and
yeah,
one side would
absolutely.
be right.
Yeah.
And they even had like short versions of them. And I look now and I go, boy, that just looks goofy as all get. But at the time, it was like, yeah, that and some like semi-dress brown shoes, and I was like, and trust me, it got
Brown.
it
Okay.
works. The attention I got was positive.
So they had a coverall overall kind of look for girls
Mhm.
with the same just one side. You
Yeah.
know, the other side was. She came out of a dressing room like that, and it was probably the only time in my life as a mother that I just said, "That's not going to happen," and she couldn't figure out why, and I couldn't articulate why. It was just so conventional of me, or something, or it just felt so wrong. I'm like, just I don't have money for that. I'm can't not doing that.
I love that. Again, here's the parent thing too, and it's so funny because you mentioned that perspective. There are things that I see, particularly my daughter wear now, that make me go, . And she is a sixth grader, and she is very fashion conscious and has lots of ideas, and what she wears means a lot to her. My son is just give me a pair of sweats and a t-shirt. Um, but yeah, the parent side is now like, and I'm trying not to be. I don't want to be oppressive because I want to give her space, but at the same time, I know what you mean. Like, No, that one's not
Yeah.
happening.
Well, and she's beautiful and she has a beautiful little figure, so it's a my husband said he was going to put a paper bag over our daughters' heads from the time they turned to teenagers till they were 21.
Yeah, unavailable.
And we're out of time. We
We
got to
are. We're
close this.
unavailable. We'll see you at the next dose.